You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Domashevitz.
Monday.
That's a lot of wind-up.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, and welcome to The Scrimmage. I'm Daniel Hargrove.
And I'm Justin Domashevitz. Daniel, my son had a stroke of genius this week that might help you become a big-time radio guy quickly.
Oh. I like
He thinks
this
you should go by Dan.
Let's go.
Oh no!
Hurry.
Sorry.
He thinks you should go by Dan Hargrove.
I was into this.
Because
Why?
two of the most successful sports podcasters in the country are Dan Lebitard and Dan Patrick. He thinks if you go by Dan Hargrove,
Then I'll sound like an old man like them.
you'll be more successful.
Well, I'm just glad that the sentence
Peyton's a
continued.
genius.
I'm going to call you Dan.
Because when you said your son had a stroke, I got worried. But then he went on to say stroke of genius.
And then Andrew had a stroke and played music over our intro.
That's interesting. Well, I'll have to take that into consideration, but probably not.
Okay, Dan.
I feel
Sorry,
like,
Dan.
No.
If we just call you that, it's going to be on its own.
No, I don't like it. Let's get to go with the 2-minute drill.
Let's go. Hurry up. Gotta hurry. Hey, 2-minute situation. 44 seconds. Hand the ball to the ref. Gonna do it right. 3-jet Buckeye on one.
The 2-minute drill starts now.
Well, this question begins with LeBron James, so I'm assuming it's for Justin. LeBron James said last week that he doesn't care about winning MVP awards. He is in a tight MVP race with Giannis this season. Justin, do you believe the king when he says he doesn't care if he wins this award?
I think this is something that LeBron has had to tell himself over the years because of how many MVP awards that he probably deserved but didn't win. I've been on the record repeatedly saying MVPs are stupid. LeBron should probably have 8. Jordan should have probably had 8. And basically, yeah, I don't believe him. I think he does care about it, but more importantly, MVPs are stupid. Moving on. After a week or so of build-up, daredevil Nik Wallenda walked across a live volcano on a tightrope on national television. Wallenda made it across safely, but quickly received criticism for using a safety harness on the stunt. Dan, did Wallenda cheat by using a harness in his quote-unquote death-defying stunt?
Well, this is a tough one. First of all, is it death-defying if you have a harness? That's the first question you have to answer here.
Is he alive at the end? He
Yes.
defied death.
We all defy death every day if that's your life.
Exactly.
Exactly my point.
So the thing is in our current society, usually you don't want to have the opportunity that something that you're live broadcasting. I don't know, was this broadcasted live? I'm assuming. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
So usually you don't want to have the ability to watch somebody die on live TV.
But you want the chance of it.
And that is, honestly, so I would say that while this is crazy and awesome, no longer are you going to see somebody like tight-roping in between the two, large buildings without any harness. Although, that brings up how much more crazy, the motocross stunts you see are, because those don't have a harness on them that can save you. And so, when you see the New Year's Day celebrations with guys jumping off of buildings down onto ramps, if they mess up, there's nothing. Die! Exactly, and it's crazy. So, I don't think he cheated, because I don't think the harness helped him walk.
No, it didn't. They made it clear that it did not assist him in balancing.
Yeah, so...
Seems like it would actually hurt.
Yeah, it does, except for your confidence level to know that you're not actually going to die. So I don't think he cheated, but I don't think it was actually death-defying. Legendary film director Spike Lee was disrespected by security at Madison Square Garden on Monday. Then he went on ESPN's First Take to blast an easy target in New York Knicks terrible owner James Dolan. The Knicks sent out a press release the following day calling Lee's complaint laughable. Justin, who was right and who was wrong? And why should we care?
We shouldn't care.
Good.
Everyone's wrong. I happened to be home on Tuesday watching First Take with my son, and I was like, Why is this a story? Why did First Take let some overprivileged, famous, rich person come on and complain because the team asked him to use the VIP entrance instead of the employee entrance to get into a basketball game?
Oh, Lord.
It's so ridiculously stupid. Yes, the Knicks mishandled it. Yes, James Dolan is an idiot. No, it's not a story. Everyone loses, including the public who had to suffer through listening to it.
You could have changed the channel, right?
No. It was ESPN. The often injured Portland Trailblazers currently are 4.5 games out of the 8th and final playoff spot in the Western Conference. Dan, with the possibility of Jusuf Nurkic returning to the team this week, do the Blazers stand an itty-bitty chance of making the playoffs?
So you're telling me there's a chance. That's about it right there. You're
way off.
You're telling me there's a chance. This has just been a sad season of injuries, and it's really sad because it's wasting one of Damian Lillard's prime seasons, and then even he got hurt for a while. No, Jusuf Nurkic coming back will not give them more of a chance because they're still going to have to figure out how to play and get their rotation all together with Jusuf because he is quite different than how Hassan Whiteside plays as the big man. So I think there's going to be an adjustment period, and they have zero time for adjustment period with only about 17 games left and 3 teams ahead of them to jump over. And one of those teams is the New Orleans Pelicans that has Zion Williamson playing like the new king. And it is going to be very hard because they're going to go on a run here. And I don't think the Blazers are going to be able to jump over 3 or 4 different teams. How'd you feel about me calling him the new king?
I didn't like it. It made me literally cringe. Also, I would like to point out, don't count out the Grizzlies with what Ja Morant has been doing.
No, exactly. Well, they're currently in the 8th spot, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think the NBA
it's theirs to lose.
The NBA would love to see Zion and the Pelicans charge up into that 8th spot, but I think the way Morant and the Grizzlies are playing, they have a better chance of holding on.
Yeah. To me, it's between looking at those teams. I don't believe in the Kings. The Blazers, as I mentioned.
Although the Blazers did just lose to the Kings.
And Blazers lost to the Kings for the first time in like 12 years, I think. It was something like that. To me, it's between the Pelicans and the Grizzlies. And I will hope and pray until the Blazers are mathematically eliminated.
Don't you kind of like the idea of Nurk and Whiteside on the floor at the same time? Because Whiteside is a better rim protector, but I think Nurkic is a better on-ball defender of bigs.
Yes, but most teams don't play 2 bigs.
But some
most
of
teams
the
are
best,
like
some of the best teams do. Like you see, even with I guess you have to count Giannis as a big, but the Bucks play with Giannis and another 7-footer on the floor pretty regularly. The Lakers also do that a lot. They have 2 bigs on the floor. So
yeah, but how many games left do the like?
But you have to have 2 bigs that are worth it.
That's
and
like
the hard part.
Yeah, that's like if they get into the playoffs, though. Like, how many games do they have left? I'm trying to talk while I look things up here on.
I think they should have about 20. Everyone has about 20, give or take.
I think they have like 17 games left.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering how many games left do they have against those teams? Because, like I said, most teams play like 1 big and 4 out, and then you look at the Rockets and they play 5 small guys.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook as their center.
Yeah, which that's a good spot for him.
Yeah.
Except for he handles the ball like a point guard all the time. So
yeah. Well, he's a point center.
He's a point crap.
He's been playing really well.
I do not like him.
No one does.
Let's see.
That's what him added to James Harden, who everyone also hates, has made them the least likable team in the NBA.
Oh, they're easily least likable for me. I mean, I already hated Oklahoma City because of Westbrook, and then I already hated Houston because of Harden. And so now that you combine those two, and it's great.
Agreed. Those are 2 of my least favorite players.
Let's see. So the Blazers play Phoenix, Memphis, Houston, Minnesota, Dallas, Minnesota, Charlotte, Detroit, Boston, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Utah, Memphis, Cleveland, Denver, Golden State, LA.
It's a decent amount.
LA Clippers.
A decent amount of winnable games, but not the kind of a schedule you're going to run through without losing.
The only hope there is that they do play Memphis, who's holding on to that last spot. They play them twice.
Or did you say LA was, which LA team
Clippers.
is it? And it's the last game of the year?
Yeah.
Maybe that game won't mean anything to them.
And Golden State's already out. Maybe Denver will have nothing to play for at that point. So, like I said, if the Blazers could somehow... Not like I said. If the Blazers could somehow get into the playoffs, anything's possible with Damian Lillard. But...
Well...
anything's possible, Justin.
I mean, if they get into the playoffs, they're playing the Lakers in the first round.
Oh. Never mind.
If they miss the playoffs, then they can have a chance at a high pick in the draft.
Oh, high pick in the draft, you say?
I mean, are we almost at the point where we should start rooting against them for higher lottery chances?
Damian just sits down. No, I could never imagine him doing that.
No.
He would never
No.
not play.
No.
Yeah. It just saddens me.